All right. How you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report. It is a Thursday, June 8th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your Thirsty Thursdays. As always, don't forget to subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by bullpenpicks.com. Sign up today and follow the top baseball pickers each and every day right here at bullpenpicks.com. And yours truly, Ron Raymond, finally getting a good run here. Not a great run yesterday, but 792 is the top score, and that's good enough for first place right now. Scott Christensen on time 34 is at 783, and Art 55, Arthur Kent, is at 760. Those are your top three pickers right today at bullpenpicks.com, folks. Follow the top pickers for free each and every day right here at bullpenpicks.com. Don't forget to use the atscalculator.com. If you're into analytics and you like to get inside the numbers, you want to use the atscalculator.com website. In fact, let's go to that Vegas game tonight against the Florida Panthers. And we're going to create the ATS result. We're going to scroll down to the bottom, and we got the away team. We got Vegas winning 0.85 and 6.44. In fact, we'll talk about the total in that game in just a few minutes. But that's where you can use the ATS calculator each and every day right here at atscalculator.com. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night wherever you're located on the World Wide Web. My name is Ron Raymond, a five-time sports handicapping champion based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. It's a little nippy here today. I think it's like 14 degrees in the nation's capital. Bit of an overcast, as you all know. The wildfires up north are transcending down into the United States, and today the air quality is a little bit better here in Ottawa, and hopefully the wind could just hopefully goes away soon, right? So we can all get on with some quality of air, and hopefully nobody is displaced from the wildfires. All right. Got a good show lined up for you guys here today. The Canadian Football League kicks off today, and we're going to give you guys a handicap on all the four games. In fact, when the lines came out, I did my lines on the game. I'll give you my lines. I'll tell you what the line changes that happened during the week, and I'll give you guys my selection for week number 1, and hopefully it can help you with your Canadian Football League picks. You know what? It's here for anybody who follows football, even our friends down south, and a lot of the players in the Canadian Football League are a lot of players that you're going to recognize from the college football days, and we'll talk about that today. Major League Baseball, we'll kick off with the SBI. We'll see how all the favorites and underdogs are doing. In fact, it was an underdog day for about 10 days, right, Norm Peterson?
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
Yeah, milk-bone underwears, but now the favorites are winning, so get that big, tall glass of milk because you're going to wash down a lot of chalk the last couple of days, and holy cow. Yeah, the favorites are having a good run, and as we always do, we're going to feed the ponies pay our respect to the horse racing industry. That's one thing I love doing about this show is always go with the one that brought you here, and that's the horse racing industry. Horse racing's been going on a long time. I'm a big horse racing fan. I love the going to the track, especially in the summertime. There's nothing better than shorts, t-shirts, and flip-flops, going to the track, watching the game, the races, and making a few bucks. And hopefully we could help you. Today's racetrack of the day is going to be Belmont. And again, you can follow me each and every day right here on the YouTube channel. My name is Ron Raymond, the Ron Raymond Sports Betting Podcast. And if you go to the website, atsstats.com, that's where I hang my hat each and every day. And you can get the Raymond Report. You can get all the tools in the toolbox, which I go through here on the show. And hopefully educate you on how to be a better sports bettor. In fact, let's talk about the 5 fundamentals of sports betting. And everybody knows my rules. I got 5 fundamentals. And you know what? I haven't done this in a long time. I haven't brought up my fundamentals in a while. I'm going to bring it up right now. See if I can find it right here on this screen and bring it over. I should be ready. I had a little trouble this morning with the stats. So I had to, all right, so let's bring it over here. Had some trouble generating the stats because all those double headers that we got today because of those 2 canceled games threw the stats off today. So that's why the reason I'm late this morning. Had to generate those stats. So make sure when we get on the show, I give you nothing but the pearls, baby. Give them the pearls. They just want and one thing they want.
I want winners,
and that's what we'll do. We'll give you winners. All right. The Raymond Report fundamentals are based on value, percentage play, performance cycles, player availability. And notice I don't say injury because if you're injured, it's It sucks for you, but who's available to play? Because that's what we got to handicap. And the number 5th and the number 1 important thing to really consider when you are in the sports betting is your money management, a disciplined money management system. And also, what kind of investor are you? Are you an action investor, a sports betting investor? And so you got to really determine, like I talked about it with JB, the ticket the other day on his show. It's all about your window. And I gave the example, and I love doing this, is let's say if I tell you, I'm going to give you, say a round number, right? Let's say I give you $100 and you got to bet $10 a pick a game. And how fast are you going to make those 10 picks, right? And that's the thing that really people don't talk about is your window of opportunity to make money. If I give you $100, the average bettor, let's be honest. What would the average bettor, if you give an average bettor $100, probably gone in 3-4 days, because they're probably betting, $10 here, $20 in that game, a 5-team parlay, and within, 5 days to a week, that $100 is gone, right? But if you have the mindset of saying, okay, you know what? Every day is not going to be a Picasso. I'm not going to be able to find those pearls. When you're handicapping your games, right? You get into the zone, and when you look at the board, sometimes the board is like, wow, it's like, it comes to you easily. Some days you're like, wow, okay, I don't really see a lot of options here today, which fits my system, right? And that's the thing about sports betting, right? When you look at the option cards, the list of your options to bet on that day, how many of those really make the cut when it comes to sports betting? So we talk about that in the show here a lot. And again, if you want to find out about my 5 fundamentals, I love this one. The bookmaker's not your friend. My 5 non-negotiables rules of sports betting. Rule number 1, the bookmaker's not your friend. Once you understand that the bookmaker, they might give you like the royal welcome when you walk in or when you sign up, but just remember, at the end of the day, they're not your friend. They're there to take your money. Rule number 2, less is more. Always remember, less is more. Only bet on A and B type teams in the Raymond Report. Those are teams that have a winning percentage. A type teams in the Raymond Report are teams with a 60 or higher win percentage. B type teams are 50 to 59%, and C type teams, those are teams with a 49% or lower win percentage. And you know what I say about C type teams all the time? Like an old high school sweetheart, they're going to break your heart. You just know it. Number 4, the rule number 4, only bet on teams that are in a neutral or bullish cycle. Try to avoid betting bearish cycles. Especially, here's the thing with bearish cycles, I wouldn't really cut off those A's and B type teams in the bearish cycles. I'll really give them a hard look, because those A and B type teams have a winning percentage for a reason. Those C type teams, they're just and we call the bearish cycle here at the Raymond Report is teams that are 0-7, 1-6, and 2-5 in their last 7 games. And the number 5th rule: have a disciplined money management system, right? Like I say all the time. The percentage play snaps a perfect picture. A team's record paints the perfect Picasso painting. You hear me say that a lot, right? And as former head coach Bill Parcells says all the time, you are what your record says you are, right? So when you're handicapping teams, follow the record, because you are what your record says you are. And here's the type of teams, and this is an example, right? And I know these records don't reflect today, but if you're betting on A, B, and C type teams, and I love to use this example, and let's say these teams are all on a 3-game losing streak, which team would you think would have a better chance of winning their next game if they were all on a 3-game losing streak? The team that's an A, a B, or a C, and obviously the choice, you know what I'm going to say, right? The 10 commandments of sports betting. They haven't done this in a while. There's my 10 commandments thunderstorm. Thou shalt not avoid betting big money on C-type teams. Oh no, you don't do that. No, not owns the cheap. Where's owns wrong clip.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my Denny the goalie. You don't do that, never, never. Where's my Denny the clip? I had a oh no, elevator music. No, get that elevator music out of here. Where's my Denny the goalie there? I got a really good. Come on, Ron. Where's my Denny the goalie? You don't do that. Crap, I'm gonna have to look for it after. I can't find it off the. Let me see. Go back to the end here. Maybe, no. Hey, Eddie Shore. No, 3 good. Glow Stickum. No, what's this one?
Sure did.
Oh. Sure. Old time hockey. Oh, good. No, high stick.
High sticking happen when the guy take the...
Oh, you don't do that. All right, I'll have to look it up again, but yeah, you don't do that. Never. Never lay points, bet the money line, or take the points, bet the over under. Yeah, the one thing I'm really big on is I try not, and if you follow my picks each and every day, you always say, all right, if a team is like -3, and say in basketball, right, say it's -3, why would you sweat out the last 10 seconds of a basketball game in, like, when the money lines is probably, you know, a better option? And I said all the time in this, you know, when you look at, and I'll show it to you guys in a second, we're talking about a 20% difference when it comes to betting the money line. Yeah, you're going to spend a little bit more betting the money line, but you'll get the gist of it. Never bet on double headers in baseball. Yeah, rule number 1 in baseball, learned that a long time ago. Never bet on double headers in baseball. Too much going on that day. Hey, there's too much going on that day. You just don't know, you know, the starting pitcher, how long they're going to go, if the bullpen's going to play an effect in the first game. Like, here's a great example. Imagine if the Blue Jays in Houston played a doubleheader when Manoah started that game. You know, now the whole day is out of whack for the bullpen, because now they're coming in, and that's why I don't bet on doubleheaders, right? Never bet doubleheaders. Follow disciplined money management system. Never force a pick because you need action on the game. Never chase losing bets on a bad day. Bet with your wallet, not your heart. That's a really important one. You're trying to beat the number. You're not score points in your fantasy league, right? At the end of the day, yeah, 2 teams are playing, but you're really beating the bookmaker's number. That's the number you're trying to beat. And what's happening in the middle is you got a game in the middle, but you got to look at the game and say, all right, make your own number and beat the number that the bookmaker hangs, and that's your objective. Never bet against A-type teams who are bullish at home. Especially those A-type teams, right? Never bet on those A-type teams who are bullish at home, because A-type teams normally have a great winning record at home. In fact, let me pull up my standings and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go to MLB and let's look at the A-type teams right here. So you can see the home teams. Look at Tampa Bay. You're going to bet against Tampa Bay at home. They're 28-6. Texas Rangers 21-9. Arizona 20-14. Baltimore 17-12. That's not a great record. Atlanta 17-14, but they're A-type teams for a reason. And if you click on type of teams, you can see that A-type teams win 65.19% of their games. So just something to chew on when you're looking at those A-type teams at home. The 24-hour rule of betting: take a day off after a big win. You know what? I cashed in a huge parlay this weekend, and I think I took 2 days off. You know, it was a really big win, and I said, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this win. The thing is, when you're into sports betting and you hit that home run, you know, I always say to you guys, you know, when you bet, hit singles, but the odd time you got to hit that home run, right? That grand slam. I hit it pretty good on Saturday, and I said, yeah, that's it. I'm taking Sunday off, because the last thing you want to do after you hit a big one is give it all back. Why do that to yourself, right? Why go into that, you know, I wouldn't say depression, but, you know, why would you give it right back the next day? Take the day off, enjoy the win, because you never know when you're going to get that next win. And never bet teams who are in a bear cycle. That's one thing I try to avoid. Betting teams that are in a bear cycle. Again, you got to know who you're betting on, right? So that's the 10 commandments of sports betting. And I used to start the show always with this, but you can see why I don't do it anymore, because we're what, 10 minutes in? How long are we in here? We're 14 minutes in, haven't got to the handicapping yet. All right, good morning, bullpen. I want to say good morning to the bullpen, and let me
dilly.
Give him a dilly. Scott Christensen's in the house. Good morning, Scott. Cooked by Little Chef. Today is going to be a good day, says Cooked by Little Chef. I hope so. Let me see here. How about the moonshot from Eli De La Cruz yesterday? Yeah, that was a big, that was a blast, wasn't it? Scott, feels like a wacky Wednesday. Yeah, I know Denis the goalie threw me off there. I couldn't find my Denis the goalie. You don't do that, man. It really pisses me off, because that's a great, that's a really good soundbite. Hey, when you're into the soundbite business, and man, it just, geez. Be like, what's this? No, it'd be like Mike. Cannot tolerate it.
I will not tolerate.
Yeah, how do you not love Mike Singletary quotes, right? Hey, they're just the best. All right, let's go feed some ponies. Yeah, we've dragged this long enough. I'll find it after the show. I need my Denis the goalie. Hey, you don't do that, never. It's a great line. John X, damn, I'm late. No, you're not late. I'm late. We're all late, John, says Scott. Christian Bailey retracted. Hey, Scott Christensen, what? Mitchell Watson, good morning, Mitchell. Good morning, Ron. Hope you're having a good day, Mitchell. And Tiger Cats and Blue Bombers tomorrow kind of feels like an early Grey Cup sample. You know what? Hamilton looks pretty good. I'm going to admit they made some really good acquisitions. Bo Levi Mitchell, James Butler. Like, nobody's talking about James Butler, the running back from the BC Lions. And, man, there's a good 1-2 punch in Steeltown. So I'm going to talk about that today. And there's my good friend.
Put that coffee down.
Coffees for closers, and Gloria K is in the house. Good morning, Gloria. And Mark Nations, good morning from the ATL. Been a while. Glad to see everyone again. Yeah, you know what? It's great to see everybody again. And again, we got some things in the work. I was talking to my good friend Gil the Thrill Melendez yesterday, and you guys are going to meet Gil come the Hall of Fame weekend. He's a football handicapper. Gil's been, if you look at the Hilton contest, for the old school guys like myself who were in the Hilton contest back in the day. Remember the Las Vegas Hilton? And we had proxies giving our picks. Well, Gil's been in those contests you might have seen his name a lot of times in the standings. And Gil Melendez, Frogtown Sports, is going to be in the house Mondays and Fridays. And you guys are going to love Gil. He has a lot of experience. He's going to bring a lot of passion to the podcast. And I've still got to talk to Ross the Boss Benjamin. Ross is blowing up. If you go look at Ross, his podcast is really blowing up. He's doing really well. Hey, I hope he has time for the little guys still, right? Hey, Ross the Boss. But you know what? Working on really expanding the podcast. Took a day, some time off after the Super Bowl, and realigned the vision of the podcast. It's and you guys know me, right? If I'm gonna do a podcast, I can't just walk through the motions. I want to be great, and it's got to be fun, right? It's got to be a lot of fun.
Can we have fun? You're damn right. I demand that we have fun.
Yeah, gotta have fun, and you need the tools in the toolbox to do the show. So I'm going to Toronto next weekend to the gaming conference in Toronto. So if you're going to be in Toronto next weekend at the Canadian Gaming Summit, come and see me. I'll be there. I'll be there the Wednesday, and we can have a coffee together, talk some sports, talk business if you're into the industry, and I would love to meet you. So I'll be there next week in Toronto at the Canadian Gaming Summit, and looking forward to meeting a lot of people. I've been doing this 27 years, so I know a lot of people in the industry. Haven't been to a summit in a while, a gaming conference in a while, but looking forward to go meet some people next week. And so we're really looking to expand the podcast, expand the show. And you know what? At the end of the day, I think this is a great podcast with a lot of valuable information. And we have a lot of loyal listeners, and I appreciate you guys sticking with the headaches and the ups and downs. But you know what? Well, the show must go on, right?
Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie. All right, let's go feed the ponies. Let's get in. Hey, almost 20 minutes in, I haven't fed the pony yet. All right, let's. I've been maintaining Gloria K. Hey, did you get a Porsche or convertible? Who got a Porsche? Yeah, they're off and running today at Belmont Park. Well, you know what? Check the air quality. I don't know if they're going to be running at Belmont. Turn up my speaker here. The speaker's a little bit low. And let me try that again. No, a little bit low. I got to turn on the sound more a little bit. There we go. Yeah, so let's go to Belmont Park today in race number 1. $90,000 maiden special weight race. Special weight. 3:05 post time, 5 furlongs on the turf, and we are going to go 8:11.5 in race number 1 today at Belmont. Kodiak Wintergreen with Jose Ortiz. Now, Jose is 39% in the money the last 100 races, so that just means he win place to show in his last 100 races. I'm a big jockey guy. When I know people. Hey, it's like sports betting, right? I always say when you have a system, it's like building your robot, right? My robot is built based on jockeys when it comes to the horse racing, right? You know, you hear it all the time in NASCAR. I had a good car today, and I get that, it's the horse that's running. But if you don't have a good driver, because a lot of the horses are pretty much even, to an extent. But when you have a really balanced field and you got a great jockey that's with a lot of experience and knows exactly how to ride that horse, jockey plays a big factor into the race. So I'm going to go Kodiak Wintergreen in race number 1 today at Belmont Park. 9-2 morning line today on Kodiak Wintergreen. Number 11, Donate Life with Carrasco, VR Carrasco. I don't know if it's Victor Carrasco, but no, 37% in the money. And the number 5 horse, Dozen Diamonds with Del Davis in the saddle, 32%. Look at the odds on these prices right here. Donate Life 12-1, Dozen Diamonds 15-1 with Del Davis. But look at our value play of the day today. That's Irad Ortiz, Jose's I think it's his older brother. 31% in the money. Irad Ortiz, one of the best jockeys on the circuit. And number 7 precisely is 3-1 morning line. The 7 is 3-1, and that's the joker, the horse I'm going to ride today. I'm going to put if you got a $20 budget per race, put 10 to win, 10 to place on the number 7 horse. That's called the Double Dutch betting system. And put 10 to win, 10 to place on the 7 precisely. Comes in first, you get paid twice. Comes in second, you get paid once. Also nice. 3-1 morning line. Not going to pay a lot, but hey, you know what? It is what it is, and that's the price, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Isn't that one of the best sound bites of all time, eh? All right, let's get to the opening bell. Well, actually, the opening bell is it's been opened a long time ago, but we're talking about the SBI. Let's get to in this corner, weighing in at $150. Mattress Mac, hey, Gloria K. I saw you on the BetFlip YouTube channel the other day asking the Rangers. Said the Scott Christensen, my man OG. What are you, Gloria K? Good morning. How about those fresh pearls? OG Wheats in the house. Hey, the ATL's coming in strong this morning. I need an OTL. I need an ATL type of soundbite for you guys. Hey. What's with all the ATL guys? Yeah, must be a lot of money there in Atlanta, in Georgia. All right, SBI, the Sports Betting Index, and what we do in this segment, we take a look at how the markets are reacting and how the public is betting, and see what the bottom line, what's coming in. Right, you can control what's coming in because it is what it is. And right now in the NBA, the last 7 days, 57.1% of the favorites are winning straight up, only covering 42.9%. This is what I was trying to tell you guys at the top of the show, right? When it comes to the point spread and the money line, if you're betting, say, the favorites on the, you say you got a low number like -3, 2.5, you know, you look at the finals, numbers are pretty low, right? 42.9% of winning against the spread. That's not too good, but they're winning 57.1. I'll lay the extra $40, $20 to get, what's more important? And here's a really good one, right? This is a good question. What's more important, the win percentage or the money? Okay. Hey, obviously, would you rather spend $160 on a money line favorite or -2.5, but your win percentage is only 42.9? So those are things that you got to think about when you're handicapping, and you got to prioritize the things. I say it all the time. When you got something of value, it's like those 2-for-1 pizzas, right? You want 2-for-1 pizza for $10, or do you want that nice deluxe pizza? You got to wait a little bit, $40, but you know what you're getting, right? That's the way I look at sports betting when I'm shopping around and I'm getting the right price for more bang for my buck. All right, so that is the number in the NBA. Let's take a look at the NHL, and you know what? The over is really cashing a lot of tickets. Look at that. 71.4% of the NHL games, the last 7 days, are coming in at 71.4% clip. 28.6 to the under, and you can see right here the straight up factor. 57.1 of the favorites are covering for the NHL in the playoffs. And I'll be honest with you, you guys know my rules when it comes to playoff betting, right? To me, if you want to make money in playoffs, you do it in the first rounds and then the first couple of games. Once you get in, and then once you know who's who in the zoo, it's just that when you're betting on isolated games, like in the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup Finals, then it's just, to me, from an investment point of view, numbers too sharp, and it's just, if the opportunity is there, yeah, maybe in the first couple of games, especially the first two the first 2 games of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. Maybe tonight, that first game in Florida. But after that, it'll be really tough for me to lay money on that, because unless you had a futures ticket, and then you can probably hedge on your futures ticket. But for me, betting into the playoffs is just, I'd rather make money betting baseball right now, because the regular season is apples and oranges, right, when it comes to the playoffs. Speaking of baseball, let's go see what's come in the last couple of days. And wow, look at that.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. If you're a favorite bettor, look at that CFL banner always showing up everywhere. All right, 70.9% of the favorites have cashed in the last 7 days in Major League Baseball. 10-3 yesterday. We had 2 postponed games. 10-5 the day before. 7-1. And I've been telling you guys now, I said, this is not going to continue forever. The zigzag theory of favorites and underdogs, just, hot potato right here. No, you hold it. No, you hold it. You hold it. Those days are going to come to an end. And I got a feeling we're going to start seeing favorites really, especially, and if you guys follow the show, every time All-Star break, All-Star games, or trade deadlines, the NHL, to me, the favorites win at a very, very high clip. So we still have a few, about a month, in maybe 6 weeks before the All-Star break. And then for me, betting baseball after the All-Star break, trust me, there's opportunity to make money, but it's more geared towards the favorites, I find, after the All-Star break to make money. And that's just because the pennant race, right? People, team the trade deadline, people trying to get their team stronger, win the division, and favorites do win at a higher clip. But looking at the 7-day average, again, favorites 70.9%, 58.3 to the under. So we're in a bear market to the over in Major League Baseball. And if you look at the season average, 50-50. And if you remember at the beginning of the season, I said, guys, it was like something. I think the over was real, or was it the over or the under? I can't remember. Well, you know what? I'll tell you right now. I'll just go right down there. Yeah, it was the over. Yeah, look at the over at the beginning of the year, right? Look at all these games that went over at the beginning, and I said, that's not going to last forever. And eventually the under did come back, and we're back to 50-50. It's always amazing how the over-under, the totals, always balance out. Of all the 3 angles when you talk about straight up, over-under, and ATS, it's just amazing how the over-unders always get back to that 50-50 ratio. And if you're saying to yourself, okay, and here's another good observation if you're betting on sports, and you probably said this to yourself, okay, at the end of the day, what's the goal? The goal is to beat the bookmaker, and you want fair market conditions, right? But if you look at what's happening in Major League Baseball, 57.5% of the favorites since day one are winning, right? And if the favorites are winning at 57.5%, that means that 42.5% of the underdogs are winning. But when you pick those underdogs, that means out of every 10 underdog bet, you're only going to win 4 right now, according to, or 4.2%, right? So that's a tough ratio to get. And if you go look at, let's go look at the NHL. Let's see the NHL, because NHL, actually I'll go to the NBA, because the NHL is like baseball. It's like the money line sport. NHL, 60.9%. That's where normally the range that for the money line sports, and even the NBA, I'll show you NBA in a second, 60.9% is exactly where the favorites win. And at the end of the day, the bookmaker's telling you who's really going to win that game when they tell you the favorite of the game, right? That's who the bookmaker believes who's going to win that game. And you got to take it with a grain of salt, because sometimes there are games to be played, right, within the trapping world of sports betting. Sometimes they try to throw that head fake in there, but and look at the puck line, 58.8%. Which is, if you've been betting puck line like I've been recommending since day one, you're smiling like a butcher's dog. Let's go look at the NBA, since the NBA is the different version of the sport. 64% on the money line, but 49.3%. That's a 15% difference. So remember at the beginning of the show, I was telling you guys, why would you lay points when you can take the money line? You're going to lay a bit more. Pick your spots. But you can see here 49.3% is it's basically like the over-under, right? 50-50. So, and that's what the bookmaker want. What does the bookmaker want? He wants to put 100 people in the room, get 50 to bet the Lakers, 50 to bet the Denver Nuggets, and they're making the money in the middle, right? So there you have it. That's the SBI, the Sports Betting Index for today. It is June 8th on a Thursday, and hopefully you're having yourself a good start to your day. Hey, and at the end of the day, what do we want?
I want winners.
Yeah, we want winners, and we'll give you guys winners hopefully today. Before we get to the games, I want to bring out the market index, the MVI, the market value index. I do have a few tools here at the website I'd love to share with you guys about the fundamentals of value percentage play, right? And you should be looking at this every twice a week. I think twice a week you got to know who's who in the zoo, what teams are 60% all A-type teams, which teams are doing very well. So anything green is really good. That means they're bullish. They're either 5-2, 6-1, 7-0 in their last 7 games of the cycle. Teams that are neutral, teams that are 4-3, 3-4, those are the teams win one, lose one type thing. Baltimore wasn't having a good run right now in Milwaukee. Man, they lost that first game of the series in a heartbreaking fashion. Then they got smoked last night. Was it 10-2 or something like that? 10-2. Yeah, we holy cow, eh?
Holy cow!
Yeah. How about our offense?
How about our offense? When are we going to put it together?
Yeah, when are we going to put that offense together? All right, let me see here. So, yeah, Atlanta, Arizona. You know what? Arizona's been free. they've been my under-the-radar team making money. And here's the thing. We're past that, for me in baseball, when I'm handicapping baseball, it's that 20-game mark where you got to see who's who in the zoo. And after 20 games, I have a pretty good idea. And Arizona, Baltimore, Miami to an extent, and there was another team that I really liked under my radar type teams. It was Seattle last year, but Seattle's slowly coming back. But yeah, Arizona, man, money ball. All right, speaking of money ball, no, not Oakland, but the B-type teams, and you can see the Dodgers are not having a good run right now. Yeah, LA's they're a tough team to read. Hey, is it just me or the Dodgers really tough team to handicap? You can see the B-type. So Houston, Yankees, they were off yesterday. Angels, San Francisco, Minnesota, Boston. Those are B-type teams that are neutral. The New York Mets, what a mess. What a mess the Mets are. Hey, almost rhymed right there. The Mets. Hey, meet the Mets. No, mess the Mets. Yeah, New York Mets, a B-type team, and then you got the Dodgers. The only two bearish teams that you probably want to avoid right now. But of these two teams, which teams would you rather? Which team do you think will get out of that slump quicker? The Dodgers or the Mets? Probably the Dodgers, right? And then your C-type teams. Look at all the red. All these pink. This is bearish teams, right? You want us to avoid the White Sox. White Sox, the only C-type team right now that if you're an underdog better on the run line, I would really recommend the White Sox on the run line. I think that's a team you probably want to keep an eye out in the next few games. All right, those are your MVI, the market value index. Speaking of value, I'm going to show you another value tool that I use, which really is obviously for any sport. In the Raymond report, we talk about value, percentage play, performance cycles. But if you go to your value report right here under markets, and you go to Major League Baseball, and let's say, let's bring up a game here today. Let's bring up my. Let me bring up the odds. So let's say, the Dodgers. All right, the Dodgers are playing Cincinnati, a C-type team, right? So the favorites, you got to click on favorites up here, and the line is minus 226. So here's the home and the road team. Let's go to the Dodgers, Los Angeles, right here, playing a C-type team. So anytime the Dodgers are on the road against C-type teams, that's the average line, minus 150. Now, they're 226 today, which is very, very expensive, right? And when you look at the starting, and obviously with Clayton Kershaw going up against Graham Ashcraft, you can see why. Let me take another look. Let's take a look at, let me see, what's another good? Arizona, let me take a really, Atlanta, New York, the Mets against the Braves. So Atlanta, A-type team against a B-type team. So you look at Atlanta at home against a B-type team, the New York Mets. The average line is minus 162. Today they're 179. So for me, I'd rather bet bet on a team that's overvalued and undervalued, and I think Atlanta, and they won the first 2 games of the series, so we're getting a lot of value. Now the percentage play might not be in our favor, but today's starting pitcher in the ATL, you have for Atlanta, you got Spencer Strider against Justin Verlander. 2 really good pitchers. The under might be worth a look. What's the over-under on that one? 6.5, 7? What's the over-under? 8.5. Wow. 8.5. I guess Verlander's not getting a lot of respect here, eh? Where's my Rodney Dangerfield? No respect, eh?
Straight cash, homie.
Yeah, straight cash. Yeah, I need my Rodney Dangerfield no respect soundbite. Let's take a look at the New York Mets. So what you want to do, go to underdog now. So you got your favorite tab right here in the underdog tab. Now what you want to do is they're a B-type team. They're on the road against an A-type team. And normally when the New York Mets are on the road against those A-type teams, they're normally plus 116, and you're getting what today? 150? 165. So you're getting a lot of value here. But here's the other question now you're going to say to yourself, okay, normally they're 116. I'm getting 165 against A-type teams. Is that too much value? Is that, it's really, what does the bookmaker know that I don't know? Why are they that much of a big difference, right? And when you look at Verlander, and I know we'll get into that game in just a few minutes, 2-3 on the year, maybe that's why. 4.25 ERA. And you look at his last starts, he went 6 innings. He had 5 hits, 1 run. 8 strikeouts, 1 home run against though, and not Cy Young Verlander, that's for sure, right? Maybe that's why the over/under is at 8.5. All right, let's get into the games here today. And since we're running a little bit late, I'm going to use the report card today. So if you're wondering, Ron, what's the report card? So when you go into your dashboard, and this to me is one of my favorite tools. You go to your tip sheets, go to your report card. Once you get on the next page of the report card, go to your MLB and then click on game matchup. So here's a bit of like a macro and micro environment tool to use, right? This is your macro look, all the teams into the system. It's almost like a shorter version of the MVI. And another thing to look at too is the confidence level of the market psychology. 85% confidence on Tampa Bay, 71 on Texas, 42 on Baltimore. And that's a really good tool to use to gauge the market confidence. Like when you're betting on sports, when and through cycles, right? What's the rule number 3 of the performance cycles of the Raymond report? My fundamentals, the team and player performance cycles, right? When you look at Baltimore right now, how do you feel about the Baltimore Orioles right now today for June 8th? Would you say it's a 42% confidence level out there? I think so, right? I think it's right there with the market confidence. If you would ask me like 2 weeks ago, it'll probably be around 71. But looking, especially when they were beating Boston and all those guys and really having a good run. But I think that's pretty fair. Atlanta 71, Arizona 71, LA Angels 57, New York Mets 28% confidence level in the market. So you see how that works. And what you want to do is, to me, here's the other thing. Perception versus reality, right? What's the perception? The perception is that they're not doing really good, and obviously from a market psychology. And what's the reality? Well, strength in numbers. If the numbers aren't there, then is it really worth a consideration to bet on that team there today? All right, let's take a look at the game number 1. You got the Dodgers taking on Cincinnati, and I'm gonna bring up, so this way I know the starting pitcher. That's one thing I need to do, and I know my veteran loyal customers are saying, right, how come you don't have your pitchers right here, right? Yeah, good question. I'm gonna have to talk to the programmer and say, you know what, we need to put our pitchers right there. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring up the computer picks. And what would you guys rather me do? Would you rather me do the computer picks or the report card? Let me know in the bullpen. I'll wait for you guys to tell me what you guys want, and I'll do what you guys want. Hey, simple as that. In the meantime, while I'm waiting, a little bit of elevator music while I take a sip of water. Okay. Till we get to the flute. You know I hate the flute. Okay, we get to that point. I still gotta wait for you guys to tell me though. Yeah, don't like that part. Sorry, gotta go. Hey. This on Eddie Shore. Social Club, you gotta go. All right, Mark Nation's report card. Mark Nations likes the report card. All right, we'll do a report card. So let's go over here. And so the report card, it's a good way to handicap the game. So what you want to do is you take the first thing you do is the type of teams, the A or B or C. So now Los Angeles minus 230, totals at 10. 76% chance of winning today on the Dodgers, who are going to send Kershaw to the hill. And looking at Kershaw's line right now, 7-4, 3.25 ERA against Ashcroft, 3-4, 6.64 ERA. Forecast, we got the Dodgers winning 6.1 to 3.8, and so we do like it to go. That's 7-9, so a little bit under the total. LA on the road this year, a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team, right? 20-10 at home, 15-17 on the road. Cincinnati 17-17, and LA against those C-type teams 17-7. And for the Cincinnati Reds against the B-type teams, 8-10. Neutral 5 days, minus 150. Yeah, I'm gonna go Kershaw here today. But I'm not going to lay, I'm not laying 230, especially on a zero recommendation of betting, right? So I do like the Dodgers here today. And look at the total, 10, right? We've been talking about that on Tuesday's show. When the line came out 10.5, I said, what does the bookmaker know? We don't. Well, how many runs have been scored in that series, right? Like over like 20-something, close to 30. Arizona taking on Washington. Merrill Kelly from the law firm of Kelly & Kelly is 7-3, 2.80 ERA against Josiah Gray, 4-5, 3.09 ERA. Arizona, a bullish team right now for the last 7 days. Minus 142 is the line. I had 155 as the bookmaker's line. I had 142, so a bit overvalued today at about $13. And I do like Arizona. I can't go against Merrill Kelly. But I'm going to go Arizona against Washington. Minnesota against Tampa Bay. Minus 170 is the line. Tampa Bay, just, all they do is win. 28-6 at home for Minnesota. The Twins, today they are going to send to the hill Bailey Ober against Yanni Serrano. So this pitching has been changed 3 times already this morning. Josh Fleming at 1. I saw somebody else, and now I see Yanni Serrano. So they're going to go to the bullpen. But, if you follow the Tampa Bay Rays the last 3 years, that starting pitcher's always been an issue. Not because they're bad, because they always get injured. 57% chance of winning today for Tampa Bay. And a win today, was this the series sweep? I think so, right? A 57.8% chance of winning on the Rays. 28-6 at home, and for Minnesota 13-17 against A-type teams, only 2-6, so they haven't played a lot of A-type teams so far this year. Neutral 5 days, bullish 2 days. I had minus 161. I do like I like Tampa Bay, but I think Minnesota plus a run and a half might be worth a look. So I'm going to give you guys my opinions. I like Tampa Bay, 4-3, 3-2 type game. But I do like, and you know what? Here's the thing, right? If you like Minnesota, now you got the total, a very low total. So you could probably, the rule of thumb is this. If you like the side, let's say if you're betting the side in total, if you like the favorite, you bet the over. If you like the underdog, you bet the under, right? I like the favorite. I like Minnesota plus 1.5. I just don't know where I'm leaning towards on the under. If I like, 4-3, I probably lean under, but I like the favorite. So, that combination of, my rule of thumb of favorites and over doesn't really fit in here, right? So I don't think I'm going to touch the total on this one. But if I were to bet this game here today, I believe I would go Minnesota plus 1.5 runs, and it's at minus 188. It's not a bad line. I like Tampa Bay to win. I'm going to take them on my bullpen, but I think Minnesota plus 1.5 runs might be worth a look. Baltimore against Milwaukee, neutral 12 days, and looking at the Brew Crew, they're now bullish. They are now bullish. Today they're going to send to the hill. They're going to send Colin Ray, who's 3-3, a 4.94 ERA against Kyle Bradish, who's 2-2 and a 4.13 ERA. First pitch today at Miller Park is at 2 p.m. Eastern, 2:10 I believe, and 2:10 Eastern. And looking at inside the numbers, I got a 49.6% chance of winning here for Baltimore, 48.2, and I'm going to lean with the Orioles. I think I've been with them the whole entire time in this series, But got to give the respect to the Brew Crew. 18-12. What do you think of those baby blue Brew Crew uniforms yesterday in Milwaukee? Not a big fan of it. The logo looks like a game, like an 80s game of like Tetris or something, right? I don't know. That uniform looks like an old 80s game that you took out of a Atari headset or something, or Atari game platform. But 4.2 to 4.6 for Baltimore. I do like Baltimore. Look at that, 20-12, and you know what? They got embarrassed last night. So I'm expecting a pissed off Baltimore Oriole team to show up here today. 12-8 against B-type teams, and for the Milwaukee Brewers, 5-7 against teams with a 60 or higher win percentage. And we're getting no. Look at that. Never been to this spot here. Really, that's interesting. I'll have to take a look. Where's my value report? Let me go to my value report. Right here. Go favorites. Baltimore on the road. Yeah, you know what? They've never been a favorite against A's or B's. Okay. Hey, you learn something new every day here on the Raymond Report. There you go. Maybe that's why they're not winning. Hey, maybe that's because they don't need to be, but they've been underdogs. So, you know what? I'm going to go Baltimore here today. I like Baltimore over Milwaukee. Got to steal one. Hey, and if any type of team can do it, it's an A-type team. San Francisco against Colorado. And looking at the starting pitchers today, now keep an eye out here. They're calling for 53% chance of rain, 74 degrees. Wind is 8 miles per hour right to left. Alex Cobb against Chase Anderson. Hey, Chase got a 1.69 ERA, but how many starts does he have? Let me take a look at inside the numbers. Hey, if I see 1.69, and you know what? Pretty good. Last couple of starts. You know, he'll give you 5 innings. Last 3-4 starts, 5 innings or more. Let me see here. A lot of hits though, but it is Coors. So yeah, and his 3 of his last 4 games have been at Coors, and the ERA is pretty good. So maybe the under is where you want to lean to today at Coors against San Francisco. Alex Cobb going up against Anderson. 57.5% chance of winning here for the Giants. I got a high number here, 6.6. 5 for San Fran and 5.7. So we do the computer picks likes it to go over. San Francisco 14-15 on the road, 15-16 for the Rockies, and against those B-type teams 10-16. Close in Milwaukee the day before the other day, Major League All-Star game. All right, neutral against Bears team. Colorado's Bears. Minus 163 is the line, minus 180 from the bookmakers. I do like, I like San Fran, but you know what? I kind of like the under in this game today. I think 11.5. Here's the thing. This game could be like 2-2 in the 8th inning and still end up 8-7. Hey, it happened this year. Do you remember that game? I forget who they played. It was like 2-1 going into the 8th, and it finished like 9-7 or 8-7. Coors Field. All right, Chicago White Sox taking on the New York Yankees. This is going to be a doubleheader. You know my rule of thumb. I don't bet on doubleheaders. I'll just give you my prediction. 60% chance of winning here for the Yankees in game number 1. Let me go to game number 1 for the Yankees. I think, Lance Lynn against Luis Severino. So we're going to... I do like the Yankees. I took him yesterday on the bullpen, but it got canceled. Game number 2, the Yankees minus 140, totals 8. And in game number 2, you got Mike Clevenger against Randy Vasquez for the Bronx Bombers. Detroit taking on Philadelphia. The Phillies, that game was postponed yesterday. Zach Wheeler today against Tyler Holton. And I got minus 250 here from the bookmaker. I had 183 on my value index. And for Philadelphia, you got C-on-C type crime. So you got 19-13 against 14-13. Detroit, Bear State right now. I like Philly here. That's a high number. If you're going to bet them, just throw them into a parlay. But again, here's the thing, right? If you throw a 250 into your parlay, you're really not. It's not going to pay. And if it does, let's say if you hit 7 and 8 and that one crashes and doesn't, how pissed off will you be that your high favorite killed your whole parlay, right? So I don't really try to incorporate those into my late my parlays. All right, Ron, what time does the website update the games for that day? Yeah, so we update the odds in the morning. So everything the stats are not generated automatically. I got to do it every morning. So normally between 7, I like to get them done before 8 a.m. I'm up really early, so depending on the type of morning or the type of night that I had, if I watched a late game, I normally generate the stats before 8 a.m. 9 a.m. the latest they'll ever get generated, but yeah, I try to get them done before 8 if possible. All right, game number 3 between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Houston Astros, and today the Astros are going to send to the hill Framber Valdez with a 6-4 record, 2.16 ERA against Jose Barrios, 5-4, 3.66 ERA. Jose Barrios at home this year, 2-1, a 2.2 ERA, and we know the history with Barrios, right? But not so much this year. Before, you wouldn't touch Barrios on the road, but he's not on the road. He's at home this year where he's been good. And today we're going to give a 48.3% chance of winning for Toronto, 47.1 for the Houston Astros, and looking at the forecast, 4.1 to 3.85, and looking at yesterday's final score, it was a big win for the Blue Jays. 3-2 was the final. Houston got up to an early 2-0 with that home run from what was his name there? I can't think of it. Alvarez. That's it. A big blast, 2-0, and then the Blue Jays came back to win it, and Romano came in close the door. So today we got the Blue Jays, and looking at my line, actually the Blue Jays have not been in this situation against B-type teams. We got a couple of first-timers today for the Blue Jays in situational roles. 48.3% chance of winning for Toronto, 47.1. I kind of like Houston here today. I agree with the bookmakers line of -120. I had 128 as a line for the Stros, and for Houston against those B-type teams, they're 14-12, 15-10. But you know what? I want to go to the Rain report. Let me go to my my full Rain report. I want to check some of the situational trends on this game. So where's that game? Houston against Toronto. CFL action. Every time I change a page, that's all I see now these days. All right, let me see here. So what you're seeing now is the Rain report. Toronto 17-11 at home, 8-18-2 to the under. So you see how we highlight the stats that are 60% or higher. But I'm going to go down here. I want to see some of the situational stats of today. So look at that. Road favorite for Houston, 11-4 on the road this year, which is very good. All right, 3-0 coming off 2 unders, 8-5 coming off a loss, and let me see here. 4th game of a series. Okay, this is the 4th game of a series. Home teams are 29-21 home on the 4th game of a series this year, which is very, very interesting. And let me see here. Can't believe it's the 4th game already. All right, I'm gonna go with Houston. In fact. Houston won the first one against Manoa. Yeah, they won that one in the first inning. All right, so I'm gonna go Houston here for the rubber match to tie it up, right? To make it 2-2, but it's not a rubber match. But we'll see if they can tie up the series 2-2. I'm gonna go Houston. I like Houston here today. Boston against Cleveland, man. What happened to the Red Sox yesterday?
Struggling.
Yeah, they were struggling. Let me see today for the Boston Red Sox. They're going to send to the hill Matt Dermody, the lefty. Again, I believe that's his first start, right? Is that a call-up from the AAA? Yep, it is a call-up. All right, so we got Matt Dermody, a call-up, getting promoted today from Rochester. Good luck, Matt. The lefty against Aaron Savali. And looking at the line, -110. Well, it's a pick 'em, right? Let me see what the other lines here. No, actually, I see Guardians -141, so this line has jumped. It's now -141. You know what? I'm gonna have to redo the lines here because that forecast is gonna change. So I'm not gonna give you the forecast here, but looking at some of the other neutral 11 days, and let me see, Boston. You know what? I got to go Cleveland here. I'm going to go Cleveland. I got to reset so come back to the website. I'll reset the lines, and that forecast will change. New York Mets taking on Atlanta, -170. We talked about that. Strider against Verlander. -170. Normally the line I have here against those B-type teams for Atlanta is 162. So 63.7% chance of winning here for the Braves. 4.9 to 3.5 is what I have for a final score, and that is good enough to go under the total. Atlanta, you know what? The home record is not that really impressive for an A-type team, you'd think that it would be a little bit better than that, right? In fact, let me go to the type of teams right here. You can see A-type teams. Look at those, like Baltimore, 17-12, not a great record. Tampa Bay, 28-6. Texas. See, the dominant teams, to me, have to win. You got to be dominant, an A-type team. If you're a team with a 60% or higher win percentage, you should be winning 65% of those games at home, right? Like Tampa Bay, Texas. Like, these are dominant scores at home. Not so much on the road, but it's tough to win on the road. And if you look at the B-type teams, any teams that are dominant, not really, except for maybe Miami, 21-13. Yeah, you don't see a lot of dominant B-type teams, right? The Dodgers, 17-15, 18-12, 16-15. So, sometimes when you talk about teams that are, home teams, right? Because your mindset automatically goes, oh, they're home, they should have some type of advantage. In football, back in, I don't know what the line, because normally when you handicap football and the teams at home, especially in college football, there's a certain number you'll give. I think that number changes every year, right? I know in the NFL, you probably say, okay, do I give it an automatic 2.5, 3 point on the line because they're at home? Maybe it's 1.5, but in baseball, there's that mindset, oh, the team's at home, they get the last at bat. It kind of, it works in their advantage, right? But you look at these B-type teams. In fact, what about the C-type teams? One team with a winning record, losing record, even, losing record. Seattle, winning record. Philly, winning record. These are C-type teams now. And that's the only ones. There's only really, let me see, Philadelphia, Seattle, and Chicago White Sox. The only 3 teams that are C-type teams with winning records at home. Interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, I do like Atlanta. And the Cubbies taking on the Halos. The Halos today going to send to the hill Drew Smiley, the lefty, against Reed Detmer, the other lefty. Reed hasn't yet to win a game this year. 0-5, 5.15 ERA. So maybe this is an over game, right? What's the total? 9. 50.4% chance of winning here for the Halos compared to 40.2 for the Chicago Cubs. 4.6 to 4.4 is our final score. LA 17-13 at home this year. 11-19 for the Cubbies. And against those B-type teams, 7-18. So anytime Chicago's taking on those B-type teams, they are 7-18. And LA 20-9 against the C-type teams. Neutral 4 days. I had minus 216 here. That's the Trout Ohtani effect right there, right? Perception versus reality, right? When you think of the Halos, what's your first mindset? Just Trout in the lineup. Is Shohei pitching or is he batting? Like, who's the starter? But 135. You know what? Let me go look at that game a little bit more in depth. I kind of like the Cubbies plus 1.5 runs. Let me go down here. But they haven't been playing really well. They're bare, so you know the rule, right? Rules are rules. All right? Rules are rules. What the hell's going on?
What the hell's going on out here?
Yeah, what's going on with the Cubbies? 3-game losing streak. And 3-11 against B-type teams on the road. Yeah, I'm not going to touch them. Yeah, that's all I need to see. We're off them. All right, let me go make my picks today at bullpenpicks.com. Sign up today. I'm going to go Kershaw at 60%. I'm going to go with the law firm of Merrill, Kelly & Kelly against Josiah Gray and Washington at 55%. I'm going to go 55. Not if it was at home, it'd probably be around 63. But because they're on the road, I'm going to go a little bit lighter. Bailey Ober against Yanni Shiros. I can't go against the Rays. But, the new factor is always there. Baltimore, I'm going to go Baltimore today, 54%. I'm going to go with Alex Cobb against Chase Anderson. Game number 2, I'm going to go with the Yankees. Vasquez against Clevenger. I'm going to go Houston today. I really like Houston today. Framber Valdez. I think they'll want to get that tie, that 4th win, or the 2nd win of the 4-game series. I'm going to go with Savali, 58%. I'm going to go Strider. I think this is going to be my top play today, 71 for the ATL. I think New York's a mess. Okay? And I'm going to go with the Halos, 54%. All right, there's the selections. You can follow my picks each and every day, and you can see the people I follow. There's our good friend Scott there. Let's see who Scott has today. So we agreed the other day, but I don't know if that was a good thing. But we all like Cleveland. We all like the Yankees. We all like the Dodgers. We all like Arizona. I don't like where this is going. Arizona. Okay, finally. So Art 55 is on Milwaukee. All right. Oh, you like Colorado today, Scotty. All right. See, me and Art like Houston, Atlanta, And then Scott's on the Cubbies. Hey, good luck with that. Good luck with that, and follow the top scorers. So what you want to do, if you're going to play at bullpen, you don't need to make picks. If you just want to follow people, you can do that. Go to top scorers. Under the link, you said follow my picks. Then you go to your following page. You can see the top pickers. Art's got a gold glove. Anybody who runs the board gets a gold glove. Most followed, you can see here, Scotty's got 22, so do I. Art's got 16, and you can follow the most followed, just like you do on Twitter. And the hottest picker, we got somebody's hot, Dave. Look at that, 21-9. So last 2 days, so good job, Virginia Dave, who is 21-9 the last couple days. Great website, bullpenpicks.com. Sign up today. It's free to play. All right, the CFL is finally here, week number 1 of the CFL football. And let's go get some inside the numbers. I'm going to go give you guys my selections. In game number 1, now Calgary is playing the BC Lions tonight. That game is at 9 p.m. kickoff at McMahon Stadium. -3 is the line. 50.5 is the total. Now, I'm going to give you my line at the beginning of the week, and then I'm going to tell you how the line has changed through Monday to Thursday. I gave BC -2, and I had 52. The line came out -3.5 and 46.5. So now it's 50.5 the total. So a lot of money coming in on the over right now. I like Calgary. I like Calgary in this one. If you're going to play this one, play Calgary at money line at -155. Take Calgary -155, and I'm going to show you some other stats here. Calgary is very dominant at home. Not as much from an ATS factor, but do you think BC should be favored? Did Calgary bring? Here's the thing: the BC lost their quarterback last year to the NFL, and now you got Vernon Adams Jr. Vernon Adams Jr. And to me, good quarterback, but they lost a lot of depth to that. Then they lost James Butler, right? So when you lose you lose a lot of players. To me, I think they're in big trouble. In fact, when I look at the line, okay, I want to show you guys this right here. All right, let's go to Calgary. Oh, not the trends. No, not the one. I'm going to the matrix. Let me go to the matrix. I'm going to go CFL. We're going to look at Calgary's numbers right now. And before I do that, I'm just going to do this. Okay, so Nathan Rourke now is playing in Jacksonville, and before Nathan Rourke got injured, BC was one of the favorites to win the Grey Cup last year, and then Nathan Rourke injured his foot, and then from then on, BC just went south, right? And then you saw it was a chance for other teams to come in, but Winnipeg, class of the West, last couple of years, I think Winnipeg's still the team to beat this year, in my view. But to be the man, you got to beat the man, as Ric Flair would say.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
And even though the Toronto Argonauts won the Grey Cup last year, the Grey Cup could have went either way. But Toronto was the best team. They say it all the time. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Toronto finished the best last year, and they got the Grey Cup, and deservingly so, right? They were really a good team. But going back to this game here, I want to show you some stats on the Calgary Stampeders. As a home favorite, and we're going back last 5 years. Let me see here. No, that's that can't be right. Year to date, 157 since 96, since 1996, 157 and 56 as a home favorite. It was pretty good. And if you look at the last 15 games, home or away as a home favorite, 12-3, pretty good. Not too bad at all, right? As a favorite. And let me see other stats to really consider here. Home away favorite totals 50.5. In June, 13-2 straight up in June, last 15. That's, Calgary, and, Dickinson, the head coach, Dave Dickinson, former quarterback in the league. Great head coach. One of the top 3 in the league with O'Shea. Rick Campbell's pretty good head coach too. Yeah, I think going back to this game, I got 26-22 final tonight for the Calgary Stampeders. Chance of winning 57.9%. I like Calgary money line. So Calgary money line is where I would lean tonight between the Lions and the Calgary Stampeders. Game of the week tomorrow night at in Winnipeg. And now when this game came out, I had -3.5 my line. Line opened up at 4.5. It's now 5. And now you're seeing 5.5, right? Total, I had the total at 51. Total opened up at 47.5, and it's now at 47. So the line's coming down. I had 51 as the total, but you can see the under is where it's coming down. And you look at the starting quarterback for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You got Bo Levi Mitchell now signed in the offseason. And looking at their depth at the quarterback position, you can see they got Matthew Schultz, the Dane Evans now in BC. So Dane Evans, who was with Matthew Schultz. Dane Evans was the starter last year in Hamilton. He's gone now to BC. James Butler, the running back for the BC Lions, now in Hamilton. So Hamilton, the thing, the CFL, it's a passing league. But when you got a great, the quarterback's best friend's a good run game. And if you got a good run game, which I think Hamilton will have this year, and a good offensive line, I think Hamilton could be the class of the East this year. I'm still not sold on their receiving core yet. I know they got Tim White. And the thing with the CFL, the slot backs play a major role in the CFL, right? Slot backs in the CFL, you in the NFL, you can't run to the line. It's a legal procedure. But in the CFL, you can do run-ups to the line of scrimmage, get a head start, and that's why a slot back position in the CFL plays a big role compared to the NFL, right? But looking at the BC Lions, Zach Claros is the quarterback for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You got Drew Brown as the backup. Brad Oliveira and Johnny Augustine. Not a okay running game, but looking at Nick Dembski, Scone, and Rashad Bailey, some of the Wilatarski. Yeah, so you got some good receivers, but they did lose Ellingson to Montreal in the offseason. But Ellingson was injured a lot last year. But looking at tonight's game, I like Winnipeg. It's going to be one of my strongest plays. I love their defense, led by Big Hill. -3.5. I like Winnipeg. I'm not going to lay 5.5. It's -200. If you do it in baseball, why wouldn't you do it in football? But I'd be careful because Hamilton's got a different team this year. But Hamilton doesn't have a great record in Winnipeg. In fact, let's go look at some of their numbers the last couple of years. In fact, let me go back to the matrix here, and let me go to the CFL. Let's go to Hamilton. Yeah, Hamilton 3-12 straight up as a road underdog last 15. Hamilton's got a good team, but not a good record on the road as an underdog. And they're good at home. They're really good at home. It's a Jekyll and Hyde type team, right? So be careful betting on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. In fact, let me go back to my database. This is a really good at the beginning of the year, there's no stats out, right? Because it's week 1, so you don't have a lot of stats. So let me go to my strength of schedule. So let's go to Hamilton on the road, and Winnipeg's an A-type team, right? So let's do an A-type team against the last 10, and you can see they're 2-8 straight up and against the number. So anytime Winnipeg in the last 10 games as an underdog, they were plus 3.79 normally. Now looking at the value, right? You're getting +5, great value. I think because normally when Hamilton's on the road against teams with a 60 or higher win percentage, which I think Winnipeg is, and they will be one of those top dogs in the CFL, the average line was plus 3.79. Total was 47.8, right? So the number on this game here tonight is 47 right there. But the average score is 25-15. So that's why I kind of like, I had a high number at 51, but after looking at this, I think the under also is where you might want to consider, but we'll see. My first instinct told me 51 was a good, fair number. That's because Levi Mitchell's there, Butler's there. It's going to be a different Hamilton team. Will they go 3-12 last 15 on the road? I don't think so. But you got to keep in mind, though, Levi Mitchell, there's a reason now why he's in Hamilton, right? He's getting up there in age. and a great quarterback, great, might future Hall of Famer maybe for the Canadian Football League. But you got to just keep remembering why he's not in Calgary anymore, right? And for the Winnipeg, check out Winnipeg at home against last year. Hamilton would have been considered maybe a B type team. Let's do both. So Winnipeg against those C type teams, they were 9-1 straight up, 7-3 against the point spread, 8-2 to the under. And if you go against those B type teams, which I think Hamilton will be this year, a B type team, maybe an A, they might be the class of the East. I think Ottawa's going to be better this year. I don't think Montreal is going to be that good. I think Hamilton and Toronto will be the top dogs in the CFL East. But against the B-type team, see that? Only 3-0, 2-1, but 3-0 to the over. So a little bit conflicting numbers, but not a lot of occurrences, right? Not a lot of occurrences. 26-22s I have as a final. I like Winnipeg as a money line bet. All right, let's go to La Belle Province in Montreal, Quebec. You got the Alouettes, who a lot of changes in the offseason. Now, Jason Moss, I'm drawing a blank. Moss, yeah, Jason Moss, the head coach right now for the Montreal Alouettes. And looking at Ottawa, Bob Dice, the new head coach now for the Ottawa Red Blacks. 2.5 is the line. Now, I had Montreal 3.5 as a line. It was 1.5, now gone up to 2.5. The total, I had the total at 49.5. I think there'll be a lot of points scored in this game. Arbuckle looks like he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Ottawa Red Blacks. And let me see. I'm just going to bring up something here. Yeah. So, a lot of changes in Montreal. Now, you're looking at your starting quarterback for the Alouettes. You got Cody Fajardo. Again, another situation like in Calgary, right? He got run out of town. Let's be honest. He got run out of town. Wasn't getting the job done. Caleb Evans, now in Montreal, former Ottawa Red Blacks quarterback. And then you got Davis Alexander. But the one thing with Montreal, they got William Stanback, right? Walter Fletcher. They got a pretty good run game. Ellingson is questionable for Saturday. And not really crazy about the receiving core right now. But when you look at Ottawa, Ottawa's got a lot of injuries right now. Shaq Evans looks like he's out. Mariner, questionable. Perry's out. Jalen Ackland should be good. Justin Hardy, Nate Bahar. But the running game, Jackson Bennett, Devontae Williams, and Mazzoli's out for this weekend. I like Ottawa here. I do like the Ottawa Red Blacks getting plus 2.5. I think the over might be a little bit better. I think the over might be the way to go in this one. But Hamilton needs to finish the second half of their game, says Scott. Yeah, Scott's probably from Hamilton too. Montreal, yeah, I got 26 on the analytics, 21. But I do like Ottawa. Take Ottawa plus 2.5. That's where I'll be leaning this weekend. And your final game of the weekend, which is an interesting line because I had Saskatchewan at -7 on my line. When I looked at the beginning of the year, when I did the line, -751. Line opened up -2.5 for Saskatchewan. The line has flipped now. The line has flipped. I just saw it this morning. The line is now -2.5 for the Edmonton Elks. And I'm going to have to go find out why. Trevor Harris, Schaefer Baker is questionable. So I'm going to have to go see why this line is favoring Edmonton right now. Edmonton was, along with Ottawa, one of the worst teams in the CFL last year. I know Eugene Lewis is now in Edmonton, so they do have a good receiver. Arsenault, a veteran, he's up there in age. Dunbar Jr., and didn't he play with Hamilton too? Dunbar Jr.? I thought he played Hamilton one year. Dunbar, that's right. Played with Hamilton. So I do like the receiving core in Edmonton. Taylor Cornelius, I believe they went to Oklahoma State, right? It wasn't his alma mater, Oklahoma State. I thought he was a Cowboy. Taylor Cornelius, the quarterback. You got Trey Ford. Hopefully he's in good shape this year. I know he got hurt last year. Had a good couple of games, or one game was it, and they got injured. But love to see if Trey Ford can get in this year. Hopefully that injury is behind him. But you know what? I like Edmonton. I do like Edmonton. I took them early in the week when it was plus 2.5, and hopefully that pans out for us. I got 25-20 favoring Edmonton, and should be a great Chris Jones against Dickinson's brother, the other his brother Dickinson's. Can't think of his first name right now. Is the head coach of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. In fact, head coach Saskatchewan. as you know, I'm a numbers guy. Yeah, Craig Dickinson, that's it. He's Dave Dickinson's brother. So, yeah, you know what? And he did, when you recall following Craig Dickinson when he first got into the CFL, he was a special teams guy, right? Special teams coach, got his shot in Saskatchewan, doing a hell of a job. So, good for him. Happy for that. And but I do like Edmonton this weekend, 55.9% chance of winning. And the Edmonton Elks, I still call them the Eskimos once in a while because I grew up in the Warren Moon era of the Edmonton Eskimos back in the day. Kelly, Larry Highbaugh, remember those guys back in the day? David Green, Montreal Alouettes. I can name you I'd probably name you every player that in the 80s from the CFL. I grew up on the CFL, so that's why I love it so much. All right, so there you have it. Those are my selections in the Canadian Football League for week number 1. And yeah, that's an hour 14-minute show, which is pretty par for the course right here. All right, let's get to the where's my AI?
We talking about practice, not a game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
No, not silly at all, because we are talking about the 80% club stats. And did you know the Tampa Bay Rays are 9-1 as a home team during day games this season? That's good for 90%. They also 18-2 as home, coming off an American Conference opponent. I can probably say every Rays stat is going to be like 80% or higher. When you're 28-6 at home, I got a feeling they'll be pretty good. The Giants 11-2 as an away team, and the total is 11-12 last 2 years. The Blue Jays 10-2 as a home team after a conference game during this season. Jays got a pretty good record right there. And let's leave you on a high note. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 8-2 and is away team, coming off a game that went under the total this year, and that is good for 80%. And those are your 80% club stats, courtesy of the Raymond Report right here at atsstats.com. And let's go get the top 25 sports betting options today in baseball. And your number 1 sports betting option today in Major League Baseball is, let's go see it, Baltimore Orioles. Yeah, Baltimore, -120, 8.5 is the total against Milwaukee. Neutral 12 days, strength of schedule 55%. You can see against those B-type teams, they win 60% of those games on a 2-game losing streak, 17-12 at home. 20-12 on the road. Daily market value index, -110. You can see we're getting pretty good value here, fair market value, and a 49.6% chance of winning, which I like. So we're gonna go with Baltimore here. What's Milwaukee's chance of winning today? 48.2. All right. So I do like Baltimore as one of my top plays here today on the Rain Report. All right, there you have it, folks. That is the show for that's a wrap, as they say in the biz. And again, if you're interested in getting a membership right here at atsstats.com, go to the website, sign up. It's $4.99 for the week, $19 for the month, and $99 for the year. You get all the tools in the toolbox. You get also some picks. I get my free pick each and every day. If you go to picks, go to Ron Raymond's picks or Ross Benjamin. We give out our selections yesterday. Yeah, that game was pending. I had to take that off because that game got postponed. I had the over yesterday as a free pick, but I'll update my free selections, and that's a wrap. In the meantime, I'll be back here next Tuesday with another edition of the Rain Report. And again, if you enjoyed the show, hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel and you like us, you really, really like us, subscribe. And every time we go live on air, you can get... You can get the Rain Report sent to your inbox saying, hey, you know what? We're on air. Come and see us, and we'll give you guys a nice howdy doody when you walk in, a good welcome when you get into the bullpen. All right, Harry Carey, you know the job. Let's get out of here. In the meantime, shop for value, play those percentages. I'll see you back next Tuesday on another edition of the Rain Report. Cheers.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Carey from Wrigley Field on a beautiful day for baseball. To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Joe, who owned the Chiefs?
Owns.
I don't know.
Struggling.
Can we have fun? You're damn right. I demand that we have fun.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
Straight cash, homie.
Holy cow!
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
What the hell's going on out here? Woo! If you smell what the rock is cooking.
That's the bottom bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Let's go to eat a goddamn snack.